Growing up, I felt a deep disconnect with my mother. It wasn't something I could explain, but it was there, lingering in the background of every interaction. As I got older, I realized that these feelings were affecting my relationships with my significant other when I was married, with boyfriends, with friends, and even with my daughter. But most importantly, it started to affect the relationship with myself. This is the first time that I realized that I had what was called a mother wound. And in this video, I really want to talk about something deeply personal: healing my mother wounds. Okay, first things first, what I want you to do is to make sure you hit the subscribe button. Welcome to the Conquer Your Ish channel. My name is Janelle Rocket, but you can call me Rocky, or some of my friends call me Coach Rocky. And I am not an expert. I'm not a coach in this. I'm not someone who is a therapist or anyone who has a degree or anything like that. Here's what I am a woman in my 30s healing. And if you've ever felt like you are carrying some emotional baggage from your relationship, whether it's from your mother or your father, you're not alone. So I really want to talk about how you can start healing and then also building healthier relationships in the process. So again, make sure you hit the subscribe button if you like this content, and make sure you share it if you find this content helpful for you or it could be helpful for someone else. First things first, let me give you guys a little bit of background. Growing up, I dealt with a parent who had a child very early. I am the baby of six kids. And when I came along, I felt like everything was already decided in my household. Um, you know, these siblings had this, these siblings had that. And when I came along, I was the kid where I wasn't really planned for. And so I didn't really, I didn't feel planned for, but I also didn't feel like there was a place for me in the house. And so I grew up feeling like I always had to seek attention from everyone in order for them to see me, right? And so I would be the one who makes everyone smile. I would entertain everyone with a funny story. I got really great grades. I played sports. I did this, I did that. I got into the elite programs for academics, and it still never felt like enough. And that feeling left me bankrupt as an adult, because as I went into forming relationships, I didn't realize that I was at a deficit. See, one thing that I talked about with my therapist is that in your formidable years, right, from birth until about 8, 9 years old, you are developing your sense of self. You're developing your sense of love and compassion. You're developing your sense of just being. And when you are lacking those things from a parent, you grow up with certain types of behaviors and characteristics that you believe you can't break, but you actually can. And so I grew up very anxious. I felt like a part of my acceptance and a part of me being happy really relied on doing something for other people. I felt like I wasn't enough. I felt like I wasn't worthy. I felt like I had to be extra in order for people to see me or even pay attention to me. And in the process, like I said, it just left me bankrupt. So let me kind of go through some of the struggles that you might be experiencing. Number one, feeling a persistent sense of inadequacy. You just feel like you're not enough. Like you can't do enough, you can't be enough, you can't see enough, you're not providing enough. You always feel like you're not enough because growing up you didn't have a parent who made you feel seen, who made you feel loved, who made you feel like, you know what, you are doing your best, but keep trying. You didn't have anyone who poured into you adequately. And so you feel like everything that you do, it's not enough. And so you struggle with even feeling like you are enough. The second thing is you have difficulty trusting people in relationships. Okay, let's talk about that for a second. Yes, we have trust issues, but did you know that it can come from your relationship with your parents? Did you know that it can start there? Because those are the first set of people that we trust in life. And so you struggle with trusting other people because You've spent your time growing up trying to rely on people and get people to see you, and all they kept doing was breaking your heart. Yeah. Number three, you replay negative interactions in your mind all the time. And it's since that happened, it will happen again. And the problem with that is that it's not the way you see it. It's not that way at all. Like, just because this happened in your past doesn't mean that it's going to happen again. And because your parent or a sibling or someone did you a certain way, now you have this thought in your mind that it's always going to happen. Or you see a similar scenario and you think it's going to happen again. And then lastly, if you're a parent, you're a mother or a father, you genuinely fear repeating the same cycle with your own kid. You genuinely feel like I'm going to be the exact same way. If you know anything about attachment styles, which I'll do a video on those, if you know anything about attachment styles, I have an anxious attachment style. And I always feel like because I didn't get something or I had to constantly do something to get something, I feel like I have to overdo it with my daughter. And now she's at a point where she's like, Mama, please calm down. Stop. I don't need it. And so it's even made our relationship a bit of a struggle. And so, what are some ways that you could really work through this? And I'll just share what I've been doing. First things first, I acknowledge and validate my feelings. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay to feel hurt. It's okay for you to feel what you felt, especially in those moments. Especially when you felt like you weren't enough. You were hurt. I started by journaling my thoughts and really getting to the root of where these feelings came from. Understanding the triggers, right? An emotional wheel really helped me with this because I really started to identify like why I felt sad or why I felt this way. And really, sadness represented confusion for me. What was I confused about? Where did this start? And so I started to really journal those feelings. The next thing is work on building trust with yourself first. You cannot trust other people if you're dealing with your own trust issues, if you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling like you should have did something. Start small, like with some small goals, and really work through trusting yourself. Because once you can keep your word to yourself, you will start to understand, you'll start to be able to have discernment about everyone else's word. The next thing is when these thoughts arise inside of your head, that these negative interactions, like you're replaying these scenarios, gently remind yourself that this is the past and the past is over. You get to redirect your focus to this moment and what you can control right now. You get to do something different for yourself. It doesn't have to be the way that it was in the past. And I'm a firm believer that if you keep replaying that scenario over and over, it's going to end up happening in your future. And then lastly, educate yourself on how you can be a parent and healthily parent your child. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I've over emotioned my baby so much to the point where she's like, okay, your emotions are killing me. And consider therapy to break the cycle. Because you get to choose what's best for you. You get to choose the options that are best for you. You get to decide and determine what works best for you. And it doesn't have to be what worked for this person or that person. You get to choose. Here are some benefits to working through these things, especially dealing with mother wounds and dealing with parental wounds. Your self-esteem is increased. Your confidence and self-esteem goes up because healing these wounds helps you to see your true worth. It helps you to step into who you truly are, and then you can be who you were made to be. That confidence allows you to walk in your God-given purpose with ease. The next thing is better relationships. Oh my goodness, y'all. Healing. I can't even begin to tell y'all how much healing has helped my relationships, just period. I've been able to form a better relationship with myself, with my family, with my friends, with my daughter. And then as I'm starting to do a little dating, right? It's helped me to heal that, like heal and be better for those relationships. I've even been able to heal my relationship with my ex-husband, with my daughter's father, just because I've been focusing more on myself and doing better to work on me. And then lastly, peace of mind. Now, here's the thing. I'm a Jesus girl. I'm not putting peace as an idol in my life. But peace of mind, like letting go of past hurts, frees up so much mental space. You're able to find joy in just the smallest of things. Like I had some mac and cheese today and I found the most amount of joy in that mac and cheese. You're able to be creative. Like I'm in a creative space that I'm able to create so many different things, and just overall having a peace of mind to get through the tasks that I have to get through throughout the day. Listen, here's one thing I want to remind you. It's not your parents' fault. Just like I know it's not my mom's fault. Before her, she was parented a certain type of way, and that's all she knew. So when she had kids, she did the exact same thing. I'm the cycle breaker. I get to break the cycle. You get to break the cycle. Yes, what happened to you hurt, but you get to break the cycle. You get to heal. You are worthy. You are enough. You don't have to go out of the way. You are enough. Listen, if this resonates with you, I want you to explore some books, explore some therapy options. I'll link some of the books that I've been able to use in order to help me grow in this area, as well as a few other resources below. I also want to remind you, I'm not a licensed therapist. I'm just a I'm just a ratchet girl in a Jesus world healing. Okay? And so I want you to remember to always seek help. Listen, if you enjoy this content, I want you to subscribe. I would love for you to comment below if you can identify with any of this information when it comes down to healing from your own mother wounds. And if you would like for me to create more content like this, let me know that as well. Again, make sure you click the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in our next episode. Until the next time, I want you to go out there and conquer your ish.